The Monaco royal family has been rocked to its very core, and what we're about to reveal will leave you absolutely stunned. Prince Albert of Monaco, a man known for his composure and diplomatic grace, has been left in complete shock by a decision that nobody saw coming. Princess Caroline's children have just taken what many are calling the final step, and the implications are sending shockwaves through one of Europe's most prestigious royal families. This isn't just another royal family drama, this is a seismic shift that could reshape the very foundation of Monaco's monarchy for generations to come. The children of Princess Caroline, who have long been considered the golden heirs of this Mediterranean principality, have made a move so bold, so unprecedented, that it has left even seasoned royal watchers speechless. Before we dive into this explosive revelation, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because you won't want to miss a single update on this developing story. Like this video if you're as shocked as we are, and don't forget to share it with anyone who needs to know what's really happening behind the palace walls of Monaco. The story begins with Princess Caroline of Hanover, born Caroline Louise Marguerite Grimaldi, who has always been considered one of the most elegant and influential members of the Monaco royal family. As the eldest child of the late Prince Rainier III and the legendary Grace Kelly, Princess Caroline has lived her entire life in the spotlight, navigating the complex world of European royalty with remarkable grace and dignity. Princess Caroline's children, Andrea Casiraghi, Charlotte Casiraghi, and Pierre Casiraghi, have been raised with the understanding that they are not just members of a royal family, but custodians of a legacy that spans centuries. These three individuals have been groomed since birth to represent Monaco on the world stage, to embody the values and traditions that have made this tiny nation one of the most respected monarchies in the world. Andrea Casiraghi, the eldest of Princess Caroline's children, has long been viewed as a future leader within the Monaco royal hierarchy. Born in 1984, Andrea has spent his life preparing for the responsibilities that come with his royal birthright. He pursued his education at some of the world's most prestigious institutions, including the International School of Monaco, and later studied at the American University of Paris. His academic achievements were just the beginning of what many expected would be a lifetime of service to the Monaco crown. Throughout his 20s and 30s, Andrea demonstrated the kind of dedication and commitment that royal families prize above all else. He participated in numerous charitable initiatives, represented Monaco at international events, and maintained the kind of impeccable public image that has become synonymous with the Grimaldi name. His marriage to Tatiana Santo Domingo in 2013 was celebrated as a perfect union that would strengthen Monaco's position in international society. Charlotte Casiraghi, born in 1986, brought her own unique perspective to the Monaco royal family. As a philosopher, journalist, and equestrian, Charlotte represented a modern approach to royal responsibilities. She pursued her education at the Sorbonne, where she studied philosophy, and later became involved in various intellectual and cultural pursuits that elevated Monaco's cultural profile on the international stage. Charlotte's approach to royal life has always been slightly unconventional. Rather than simply fulfilling traditional ceremonial roles, she chose to engage with contemporary issues through her work in journalism and her involvement with various cultural institutions. Her relationship with literature, philosophy, and the arts brought a new dimension to how the Monaco royal family engaged with the broader European cultural landscape. Pierre Casiraghi, the youngest of Princess Caroline's children, born in 1987, rounded out this trio of remarkable individuals. Pierre's passion for sailing and maritime sports perfectly aligned with Monaco's identity as a Mediterranean maritime nation. His achievements in competitive sailing brought honor to the Monaco flag and demonstrated the kind of excellence that the royal family has always demanded of its members. Pierre's marriage to Beatrice Borromeo in 2015 was another milestone that seemed to solidify the future of the Monaco royal line. Beatrice, with her background in journalism and her connections to Italian aristocracy, brought additional prestige and international connections to the Grimaldi family. For years, these three siblings represented everything that Prince Albert and the Monaco establishment could have hoped for in the next generation of royal leadership. They were educated, accomplished, dignified, and completely committed to the principles and values that have guided Monaco for generations. They participated in state functions, supported charitable causes, and maintained the kind of public image that enhances Monaco's reputation as a sophisticated and principled nation. However, beneath the surface of this apparent harmony, significant tensions were beginning to develop. The children of Princess Caroline began to question not just their roles within the royal family, but the very nature of royal obligation itself. They started to examine whether the traditional model of monarchy was compatible with their personal values and aspirations for the future. The first signs of this philosophical shift became apparent in their choice of projects and public statements. Rather than simply following the established protocols for royal engagement, Andrea, Charlotte, and Pierre began to pursue initiatives that reflected their own priorities and concerns. They became more vocal about issues like environmental sustainability, social justice, and economic inequality. These weren't just passing interests or fashionable causes. The siblings began to develop a comprehensive worldview that challenged some of the fundamental assumptions about how royal families should operate in the modern world. They questioned whether inherited privilege could be justified in an era of increasing global inequality, and they began to explore ways that their positions could be used to address these larger societal challenges. The breaking point came when the three siblings began to discuss the possibility of fundamentally restructuring their relationship with the Monaco royal family. They started to explore options that would allow them to maintain their connection to Monaco while pursuing a more independent path forward. This wasn't about rejecting their heritage or abandoning their responsibilities, but about reimagining what those responsibilities should look like in the 21st century. The conversations within the royal family became increasingly intense as it became clear that Princess Caroline's children were not simply going through a phase of youthful idealism. They had developed a coherent philosophy about the role of monarchy in modern society, and they were prepared to act on their convictions, regardless of the consequences. Prince Albert found himself in an impossible position. As the sovereign ruler of Monaco, he had a responsibility to maintain the stability and continuity of the monarchy. The Grimaldi family has ruled Monaco for over 700 years, and that legacy cannot be taken lightly. At the same time, he recognized that his nephews and niece were raising legitimate questions about the relevance and effectiveness of traditional royal structures. The situation became even more complex when it became apparent that Princess Caroline herself was not entirely opposed to her children's evolving perspective. While she remained committed to her royal duties, she also recognized that the world had changed dramatically since her own childhood, and that the next generation of royals would need to find new ways to serve their people and their principles. The final step that has left Prince Albert in such shock was not a single dramatic announcement, but rather a series of coordinated decisions that collectively represent a fundamental break from traditional royal expectations. Andrea, Charlotte, and Pierre have each made choices that signal their intention to pursue a more independent path forward, while still maintaining their connection to Monaco and their commitment to service. Andrea Casiraghi has announced his intention to establish an independent foundation focused on sustainable development and social entrepreneurship. This foundation will operate outside of the traditional royal charitable framework, allowing Andrea to pursue initiatives that might not align perfectly with established royal protocols. The foundation will focus on projects in developing nations, with particular emphasis on environmental conservation and economic empowerment. This decision represents more than just a career choice for Andrea. It signals his intention to use his royal platform in ways that go beyond ceremonial functions and traditional charitable work. He wants to engage with the most pressing challenges of our time in ways that require real risk-taking and genuine commitment to change. Charlotte Casiraghi has made an equally significant decision to pursue an academic career that will take her away from Monaco for extended periods. She has accepted a position at a prestigious international university where she will conduct research on political philosophy and social justice. This role will require her to step back from many of her traditional royal responsibilities and to engage with ideas and people who may be highly critical of monarchical systems. Charlotte's decision is particularly significant because it represents a choice to prioritize intellectual honesty over royal convenience. She could have easily maintained a comfortable position within the Monaco establishment, participating in ceremonial functions and supporting non-controversial charitable causes. Instead, she has chosen to pursue work that may lead her to conclusions that challenge the very foundations of the system that gave her privilege and platform. Pierre Casiraghi has announced his intention to dedicate himself full-time to environmental activism, with a particular focus on ocean conservation. He will be working with international organizations that operate completely outside of royal structures, and his work will often take him to regions where Monaco has little diplomatic presence or influence. Pierre's decision is remarkable because it represents a choice to use his royal background as a launching pad for work that transcends national boundaries and royal loyalties. He will be representing principles and causes rather than a particular country or royal family, and his success will be measured by environmental outcomes rather than diplomatic achievements. What makes these decisions so shocking is not just their individual significance, but the way they collectively represent a fundamental reimagining of what it means to be royal in the modern world. Andrea, Charlotte, and Pierre are not rejecting their heritage or abandoning their responsibilities. Instead, they are choosing to interpret those responsibilities in ways that prioritize global citizenship over royal obligation. The implications of these decisions extend far beyond the immediate Monaco royal family. Other European royal families are watching closely to see how this situation develops, because the questions that Princess Caroline's children are raising apply to all hereditary monarchies. How can traditional royal structures remain relevant in an era of global challenges that require new approaches and new forms of leadership? Prince Albert's shock is understandable because these decisions challenge everything he has been taught about royal responsibility and royal continuity. The Grimaldi family has survived for centuries by maintaining stability, respecting tradition, and avoiding dramatic changes that might threaten the monarchy's position. Now his own family members are voluntarily choosing uncertainty and risk over security and tradition. The broader Monaco establishment is equally concerned about the implications of these decisions. Monaco's economy and international reputation depend heavily on the prestige and stability of the royal family. If the next generation of royals chooses to pursue independent paths, it could fundamentally alter Monaco's position in international society. However, there are also reasons to believe that these decisions might ultimately strengthen rather than weaken the Monaco royal family. By choosing to pursue work that aligns with contemporary values and addresses real-world challenges, Andrea, Charlotte, and Pierre may be positioning themselves to be more effective and more respected leaders in the future. The environmental work that Pierre is pursuing, for example, directly addresses issues that are of critical importance to Monaco as a Mediterranean nation. Climate change and ocean pollution pose existential threats to Monaco's way of life, and Pierre's expertise in these areas could prove invaluable to Monaco's long-term survival and prosperity. Similarly, Andrea's work in sustainable development could provide Monaco with valuable insights and connections in an era when small nations need to find new ways to remain relevant and prosperous. His foundation's work could open up new opportunities for Monaco to play a leadership role in addressing global challenges. Charlotte's academic work on political philosophy could also prove beneficial to Monaco in the long term. As democratic movements continue to evolve around the world, monarchies will need leaders who understand these developments and can adapt accordingly. Charlotte's research could provide valuable insights into how traditional institutions can evolve to remain relevant and effective. The reaction from the Monaco public has been mixed but generally supportive. Many Monaco citizens appreciate the fact that the younger generation of royals is choosing to engage with real-world challenges rather than simply maintaining ceremonial roles. There is a sense that these decisions demonstrate the kind of leadership and vision that Monaco will need in the coming decades. International reaction has been similarly complex. Some royal watchers have criticized the decisions as irresponsible abandonment of duty, while others have praised them as exactly the kind of innovation that monarchies need to remain relevant in the modern world. The debate reflects broader questions about the future of monarchical systems in democratic societies. The media coverage of these developments has been intense and often sensationalized. However, the core issues that have driven these decisions are serious and deserve thoughtful consideration. Princess Caroline's children are not acting out of selfishness or irresponsibility, but out of a genuine desire to use their privileges and platforms in ways that create positive change in the world. The financial implications of these decisions are also significant. Traditional royal roles come with financial security and established support systems. By choosing more independent paths, Andrea, Charlotte, and Pierre are accepting increased financial risk and uncertainty. This demonstrates the depth of their commitment to their chosen directions. The personal relationships within the royal family have inevitably been affected by these developments. While there is no indication of serious family conflict, there are certainly tensions and concerns about how these changes will affect family unity and royal continuity. Prince Albert must balance his personal support for his family members with his responsibilities as sovereign. Princess Caroline herself has remained largely silent about her children's decisions, but sources close to the family suggest that she is proud of their courage and commitment to their principles. She recognizes that they are facing challenges and making choices that were not available to her own generation, and she supports their right to forge their own paths forward. The legal and constitutional implications of these decisions are still being worked out. Monaco's succession laws and royal protocols were developed for a different era, and they may need to be updated to accommodate the realities of 21st-century royal life. This process could take years to complete and may require careful negotiation to avoid constitutional crises. The international diplomatic community is also adjusting to these changes. Monaco's relationships with other nations have traditionally been managed through established royal channels, and the more independent approach being pursued by the younger generation will require new forms of diplomatic engagement. The charitable sector is watching these developments with particular interest. The royal family's charitable work has traditionally been a central part of Monaco's soft power strategy, and the more independent approach being pursued by Princess Caroline's children could either enhance or complicate these efforts. Educational institutions around the world are also paying attention to these developments. Charlotte's academic career, in particular, could influence how other royal family members approach higher education and intellectual pursuits. There may be more opportunities for royals to engage with academic institutions in meaningful ways. The environmental movement has welcomed Pierre's decision to focus on ocean conservation. His royal background provides him with unique access and credibility, and his work could help raise the profile of environmental issues in ways that traditional activism cannot achieve. The business community is also interested in Andrea's foundation and its focus on sustainable development. There may be opportunities for innovative partnerships between royal foundations and private sector organizations that could create new models for addressing global challenges. The technology sector is watching to see how these decisions might influence royal family engagement with digital platforms and new forms of communication. The more independent approach being pursued by Princess Caroline's children may lead to more direct and authentic engagement with global audiences. The cultural community is particularly interested in Charlotte's work and how it might influence royal family engagement with arts and intellectual pursuits. There may be opportunities for more substantive cultural initiatives that go beyond traditional royal patronage. The sports community continues to follow Pierre's sailing career and his environmental work with interest. His combination of athletic achievement and environmental activism could inspire new approaches to sports-based social engagement. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates on this developing story and other breaking news from royal families around the world. Hit the like button if this story amazed you as much as it amazed us, and share it with your friends who need to know what's really happening behind palace doors. Leave a comment below telling us what you think about these shocking decisions that have left Prince Albert speechless. What do you think will be the long-term consequences of Princess Caroline's children choosing independence over traditional royal obligations, and could this decision inspire other young royals around the world to follow their lead?